The moment of eye gazing with Carolyn was life-changing.
There was such a connection that it came outside of us, and it was just the sweetest joy.
Something I'd like to really share with you now in this group is the extent to which eye gazing has changed my life. I've had a stutter since I was 5. When I started eye gazing, I didn't expect that my speech would be impacted.
It's awkward, uncomfortable, and in some cultures it's even considered rude. But now, staring into each other's eyes for abnormal periods of time not only makes us better humans, it solves speech impediments, improves sex lives, it alleviates anxiety, and it can even cure loneliness. In fact, 20 years ago, psychologists discovered that just 4 minutes of looking into each other's eyes can bring people closer than anything else.
There are changes in brain area activation, there are hormones that are released. At the end of the day, the potential benefit is pretty big.
So big that eye gazers like Tony, Carolyn and Cindy are showing up all around the world. Recently, 100,000 people in 160 cities took part in a massive starefest.
This is the world's biggest eye contact experiment. We're doing it again to build our sense of human connection in public.
Then there was this. Using eye gazing, Amnesty International set up a social experiment attempting to change Europeans' racist attitudes towards refugees. And it worked. Now there's monthly eye gazing meetups in almost every part of Australia. And given it's become so popular, I'm thinking there's got to be more than meets the eye here. So with my scepticism in plain sight, I'm meeting with eye contact expert Dr. Lisa Williams. So in a nutshell, is this whole eye gazing scenario a bag of bullshit?
Engaging in this sustained eye contact with strangers can actually bring about social connection, and that's a powerful thing. So I would have to say I'm less skeptical than I might normally be, knowing the research that supports the idea.
Lisa, why is it so uncomfortable for us to, lock eyes with someone?
There are these really complex rules that we all implicitly go by without much thinking. So to purposefully do one type of thing for a long time, just like holding a smile for 5 minutes, would feel really awkward. Looking at someone for a sustained amount of time is also awkward.
Is there any science behind this?
There are changes in brain area activation. The infamous love hormone, oxytocin, can be released. Eye contact is a crucial aspect of attraction. So if we're locked eyes with someone, we're picking up emotional information from pupil dilation. And it turns out when we're aroused or feeling strong emotions, our pupils dilate. And suddenly there's the sense that, oh wow, we must be attracted to each other.
The eye gazing experience that I had with Tony was really quite a defining moment. We'd only known each other a couple of weeks.
One morning we were just far enough apart that we weren't touching in any way.
Tony was staring at me directly into my eyes, and it was a bit weird, and I gradually started to hold my gaze. It sounds really, really crazy, but I sort of went like, did you see that, or did you feel that?
I felt a wave coming from Carolyn, and we both exclaimed that our souls had kissed.
We hadn't had anything to drink, there's no alcohol, no drugs, nothing. So it wasn't like we were in any way hallucinating, no. What a hippie.
So real that soon after, Carolyn and Tony got married. 25 years on, they still swear by eye gazing. Love at first sight? Okay, sure. But is the human stare really that powerful?
Eye gazing has really helped me overcome my stutter in such a huge way.
For 34-year-old Cindy, eye gazing didn't get her hitched, but she says it did cure a stutter she'd had most of her life.
The anxiety around my speech was overwhelming. I felt like I was going to die, it was that bad. I was so self-conscious that if I blocked or got stuck on a word, I was so scared to look stupid that I put shackles on myself. Going through the eye gazing experience, I've broken the shackles to speak up and to speak freely.
Cindy's been going to eye gazing events for the past year or so and now runs her own workshops.
And I still get stuck on that word sometimes. We've all got something that we're able to work on, and the answer may be found through eye gazing.
If anyone's going to have the answer as to whether this thing actually works, it's Igor Kramen. He's been eye-gazing around the world for years, and he started the eye-gazing movement in Australia.
I've got to say, I'm a little bit uncomfortable sitting across from you now because you really stare.
I think you have a good gaze.
What's a good gaze? That's so funny. What does that mean?
I just mean that you hold eye contact quite well. You seem really comfortable, so it invites me to come in.
What would you say to skeptics or people that kind of hear you now and think these people are just a bunch of hippies and they're full of shit?
I think that's a fair assessment, mate. This could be a little bit radical for some people. Yeah, you see the results instantaneously.
There are thousands of strangers right around the country meeting in public parks like this right now to lock eyes with a complete stranger.
I sit by myself and let whoever wants to approach me can approach me. In eye gazing, they have an opportunity to question who I am. I'd like them to kind of go back and reflect and be like, I met Muhammad today. He didn't try to blow me up. No, not all Muslims are threatening. Not all Muslims are dangerous.
We all connected somehow, even if we don't communicate.
What were you feeling?
Look, to be completely honest, it's not the sort of thing that you can just look into someone's eyes and you're going to understand the person. Often when you start talking to them afterwards, you realise that they could be a clearly different person to who you envisioned the entire time.
Well, of course you can't get to know a person just by looking into their eyes. But there's clearly something going on when our eyeballs lock. So, I might just actually stare awkwardly deep into people's eyes more often.